Welcome to the Untrapped Podcast, where we're motivated and inspired about success, small business, and personal development. And now, Keith Kalfas.
Did you know, I don't know how old you are, but the MTV Cribs episodes when we were kids, most of it was all lies. They would take these pop stars and put them in rented houses that were owned by very successful multimillionaire business people. And then they would shoot the show and make it look like some pop star owned this house and they lived that lifestyle. Meanwhile, it was a lie, and hundreds of millions of people were watching this thinking, wow, I could become a famous musician or an artist or a basketball player. And it's such a rare few that make it. So this is what I want to talk about, how we've been lied to, severely lied to. Since I've been reading the Bible every single night and praying, I thought my eyes were opened. And I'm not even saying that they're open now, but my eyes are opening and a veil is lifting. And I've been realizing that almost everything on TV is garbage and lies. Almost everything on social media is garbage and lies. And almost a lot of music is garbage and lies, and it's filled with horrible messages. And before, growing up in my whole life listening to music, I like all different types of music, right? I really like classic rock, and most of it's good. Actually, the classic rock, if you were to actually study music, and classic rock's pretty good, jazz and classical, but like some classic rock has got some really bad messages, so to speak, but you don't realize it, and you even sing along. So, but now I can hear this music, and I'm paying attention, and what's in the movies. And we went with the whole family to the movie theater. We go a couple times a year with the whole family. Get popcorn. It's a fun time, right? And I'm paying attention to what's in the movies, or on Netflix, or on the radio, and I'm like, whoa. It's not only, it's almost like spiritual casuistry and psychological warfare at the highest level. And it's complex too, and it's hypnotic. And so my point in what I'm talking right now is you have to have a compass that points to true north, and you have to be extremely strict about guarding your mind, your eyes, your ears, and your senses, and everything about walking a very, very, very straight line. And if anything, what was that? Because it's like I was having a conversation with a friend about this yesterday, and he's like, we like live in sin. It's like almost impossible to stay away from it because it's freaking everywhere. And our culture and the commercialized advertising on TV, everything is about greed and lust and gluttony and sin and what's the word? It's lies telling you if you get materialistic things that you'll be happy, and it's a lie. So here was a vision that I had recently. It's kind of vulnerable for me to talk about this stuff. I've never talked about this. I was at night when I dream, especially when I'm waking up in the morning, it's like almost like a lucid thing. Like I'm half asleep, but I'm half awake, but I'm still kind of dreaming. I don't know if lucid is the right word, so don't quote me. But I have these visions that I don't normally have, and I see things so clearly that sometimes it's terrifying. And I saw a vision. This happened to be, it was like, not elderly, but a kind of an older woman who had a beautiful home. Yet, her kids were all grown up and moved out a long time ago, and her husband had passed away. But there was a beautiful home with like nice landscaping and a pool in the backyard and patio furniture, and it was like almost like a dream home, right? Yet it was completely desolate and empty, and it was nothing. It was nothing. And somebody, like an afterthought, had mentioned, oh, it must be nice to have this beautiful home and all this. And yet it wasn't nice at all. It was more like a nightmare, and it was completely empty and desolate. And it didn't matter at all how nice the house was. And then I had this deeper vision come into me, and it was like all materialistic things and materialism, for the sake of materialism, even thinking, like even producing the thought that it will make you happy or make someone else love you more or accept you, is a complete lie. So even chasing or lusting after the thought of having the spirit of mammon, that's a liar. Look it up. That if you get your drop top Corvette, now of course you could have always wanted it. If you make a whole bunch of money, you can get one and you'll have fun driving it. Great. But making that your God, or making and now I don't say this from a victim standpoint because like I'm broke and I don't have any money, I'll never get that stuff. I could literally go get a drop top Corvette right now. It'd be a horrible financial investment. But what I'm saying is, and that wasn't like some like weird flex or anything. It was like, I'm just a totally normal dude. I run a landscaping business. But what I'm saying is, thinking that anything materialistic will make you happy or make someone love you will make you chase and run and put unnecessary stress on your life. And in the end, you might have ran so hard for materialistic things that you were so unpresent with your family that you wake up at a funeral and you're at a funeral now because someone you love passed away, and you realize you weren't even present with them. You didn't spend the time with them that you should spend with them because you literally were chasing materialistic things because you thought it would make them love you, but they just wanted you. And you might have somebody toxic in your life. I know I just sped up. You might have somebody toxic in your life that's constantly criticizing you and cutting you down and say you should be more successful or you should have more materialistic things and all that stuff. But that's really them just broadcasting what they're going through and their negative and their low self-esteem onto you. It doesn't really have anything to do with you. And there's a saying, you'll have all those things when those things no longer matter. I'm seeing very much so in my life, running 2 businesses and getting to the point where I can go out and purchase a lot of things that I've always wanted. And I look on Amazon and I walk through the store and I don't want anything, like, because when I was younger and I was poor and I was broke, I thought materialistic things would make me happy. And when I finally started to get some of those things, they never made me happy. And so all that makes me happy is God and the love of my family and connection and creating content and inspiring and eating healthy. It's like certain things that make you truly fulfilled all have to do precisely with the relationships and the connection and fulfilling God's purpose in your life. The materialistic stuff is an afterthought. So even thinking or looking at somebody else and comparing and be like, man, I wish I had what they had. No, you don't. This is so literal to me. I wish I could explain it more clearly, because the vision and the feeling that I had, it was a feeling like of total loss and impending doom. It was a feeling of missing the mark.
I created a group called the Untrapped Alliance where we go live every other Wednesday night in a controlled environment. I'm sick of scrolling on social media. I'm sure you are too. Let's get focused on our businesses. We already started the group, so if you join at keithkalfas.com/alliance, you can get access to the replays. And the bonus is we're gonna have special guest experts who run multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses. They're gonna come on and teach us how to do sales, marketing, persuasion, close higher ticket jobs. These are people who got their shit together. And I'm really excited to have them on. Go to keithkalfas.com/alliance. I'll see you on the Wednesday night call. Let's go.
Buying into a lie. And so I've heard stuff like I'm speaking before in the past, and I said, no, that's a bunch of crap. They're just saying that. Like, I know that that's probably true, but I still want to make millions, and I still do, right? But I'm speaking it from a conscious place, not from anymore from a place of thinking that it'll make somebody love me, because now I know for a fact it won't. I often look at beautiful homes on Zillow. My wife actually just tonight showed me a house because we're eventually going to move and get our dream home. But I'm doing it from we're doing it, but for me personally, I'm doing it from a highly conscious place of understanding that it's actually our dream home and not the old dream that used to suck energy away from me. This is what will make my wife's family love me more, or make my family or my father or anybody. Like, the truth is, if you make a whole bunch of money and live in a beautiful home and drive fancy cars, people are more likely to actually judge you and tell you how you should be living your life and trash talk behind your back. If you have what's called conspicuous consumption, which is you consume conspicuously and you're gluttonous about it and greedy. And so I'm really thinking more of a simple minimalist lifestyle. Like, if you read this amazing book by Robin Sharma, oh, he's so amazing. He wrote a lot of books, but he wrote a book a few years ago called The Everyday Hero Manifesto. And now he recently wrote a book in the last year called The Wealth Money Can't Buy. And he says there's 8 different forms of wealth, and only one of them is money. Only 1 out of 8? When you don't have money, it seems to be all you can think about, because it's like oxygen. When you're broke and the bills are due and you're scrambling and you're working constantly running on a rat wheel. But I'll tell you a secret. When you finally get off the rat wheel and you have money, like cash flow flowing in, and it's extremely easy to pay your bills, like it doesn't even cause you any stress at all. And if you live below your means and you have excess abundance of money, you get your head above water and now above the clouds, and you start to look around, and then you really start to think about your life's purpose and all these different things. Because when you're in survival, you're stuck in like this lower astral density where you're suffering and running on a rat wheel in fear. And all you think is, if I could just make an extra $2,000 a month, I would be okay. If I could just maybe $2,000 a month would make. I've had those thoughts years ago, and I made an extra $2,000 a month, but I realized because it's a 50% gross profit margin, 30% net profit, I actually had to make an extra $7,000 a month or $6,500 just to make that $2,000 a month. That added a whole bunch more stress. And then I was like, oh, no, I have to make an extra $5,000 a month. So I had to go out and produce $15,000 more a month to make an extra $5,000 a month. I was like, oh my God, this isn't enough. I have to make $7,500 a month. I get to $7,500 more a month, and I was more stressed out than I had ever been in my life, to the point where I laid on my kitchen floor thinking I was having a heart attack in front of my wife. I was about to tell her to call 911 because I was so financially stressed out. Then I was like, oh no, $10,000 a month is the magic number. $10,000 extra a month, right? So it took a long, hard time, and I hit $10,000 a month. This is through blood, sweat, tears, total sacrifice. I'm by no means rich whatsoever at all. And then the magic number really is actually about $10,000 a month. Maybe not with inflation. It's probably more than that. But then what happens when you get like $10,000 a month more on top of the money that you make that covers all your bills? I feel kind of vulnerable sharing this because I don't really like to talk about money, but I just want to share this to make a point. That's actually even scarier than being broke, because now you wake up and you go, oh my gosh, it took all this work just to get my head above water to where now I'm not worried about the day-to-day bills. And if one little thing goes wrong, I go back into that rat race. You go, like, now you're terrified of losing everything you just worked 10 straight years of 70 hours a week just to get. You're terrified to lose it. So you're like, oh my God, I have to make $100,000 a month. So I can put away. See, I'm going into it right now. I'm saying like money doesn't matter and materialistic things don't matter, but this is the 1 out of 8 kind of that does. So I did all the math. It's like I have to put away 4 million. So it means I need multiple streams of recurring revenue. I need an entire portfolio. I need, stocks and bonds and real estate and Airbnbs, and I need multiple businesses and structured income and umbrellas and stuff that's holding companies. And then I need stuff that other people run, so the money flows in while I sleep, and then it needs to be put into assets that produce passive cash flow. So therefore, you get to the point you move from, as Myron Golden says, implementation to unification to communication to imagination. Then when you can stay in communication and imagination, you just communicate the ideas that you imagine, and then everybody else does all the implementation, and then they get paid well, and then the money flows through, and now you could just be a creator. How do you do that? I think the only way to do it without becoming incredibly miserable, unless you're hyper conscious that you're just building a structure that flows cash flow, hyper conscious that you're just building a structure that flows cash flow, which means you don't get emotionally invested in it where it becomes your God. You're doing it with a specific intention, then it flows cash so you can do the thing that you love, which might be to inspire, contribute, and give. The only thing is to find out what God's purpose is for your life so you can develop yourself for that purpose, deploy yourself into that purpose, and live out that purpose. Which I also learned from Myron Golden, and it's very true. So, I'm tired. I got to read the Bible and go to bed and pray. Just a little random. I might as well say it since I'm talking about money. I'm training and conditioning myself to, I'm coming out with a new program October 1st. If by chance you have a message that you want to share with the world, I can teach you how to do it. We've got 80 million views online. I've got 6 YouTube channels, 2 businesses. I've published 4 books. I'm 20% into my 5th book, and I've already outlined my 6th book. 3 of my books are Amazon bestsellers. I've been a keynote speaker all over the country, and I work with 22 brands. I have, a core team of 10, 11 virtual assistants. Basically, I have like 20 people working for me altogether. And I have multiple little streams of, I guess you could call it residual income that flows. And I've learned how to monetize my message, so to speak. And it took a long time of a lot of pain and suffering. And now I know how to do it, and I've systematized it. And now it's actually fun and easy. If you have a dream and you have a vision and you have a passion that you want to share with the world and get your message out there, eventually you're going to have to monetize it. Because if you do it, I did it for years for free, and you will just burn out and quit. And you'll also become a human jukebox where you have people all over the internet, to the tune of, I had at one point over 200 people per day reaching out to me in some form, calling my phone, texting, emailing me, wanting to drive across the country to get lunch with me.
Hey, Untrapped Podcast listeners. You transform properties, but getting consistent clients can be tough. How do you get more eyes on your amazing outdoor services? Footbridge Media specializes in helping contractors like you dominate your local market online. They build professional, optimized websites that convert visitors into leads, handling everything from design and SEO to review management. Stop being trapped by a lack of leads. Grow your home service business with a strong online presence. Open your browser and visit footbridgemedia.com/Keith today.
All the different ways to monetize your message. If you go to keithkalfas.com/multiple ways, it's one word. You can download the free guide. I also have a quiz that you can take, and depending on the answers of that quiz, we have custom ebooks that are specifically for where you're at on your journey. It'll teach you how to share your message with the world on social media, how to craft your message, and how to monetize it. It's totally free. I'll put a link in the description below. It's KeithKalfas.scoreapp, SCOREAPP.com. I'll put a link in the description below. You can take this quiz, and then I'm going live for 2 days straight across all social media platforms, the 27th and the 28th of September for the product launch that will be on October 1st. Look for it. It'll be called Monetize Your Message, and I'm really excited about it. And it's an entire online program that'll teach you how to basically make money online by sharing your knowledge, wisdom, passion, and expertise. Whether you want to do one-on-one coaching, which I do and I've done since 2015, it's monetized. You want to do group coaching, I've done some group coaching, and I'm going to be launching a group coaching workshop soon. Whether you want to do live events, I've done that too. And you want to do public speaking, I've gotten paid to do public speaking all over the country. Or you want to write ebooks, create audiobooks, or if you want to, like write your own paperback book. I've written 4 books. I know how to do that, and I can teach you how to do that and monetize it. And if you want to create online courses, I have 11 online courses. Actually, I have 19 online courses. I'm creating the rest of them, and all that stuff. You can literally build an entire side hustle online that you turn into you can make 10 grand a month online, 20 grand, 50. You can make 100 grand a month online. It's pretty much unlimited. You can turn your side hustle into your full-time passion, and then literally quit your day job or whatever you do, and you can make more money than maybe you've ever made. I'm not saying you can for sure, because I can't make you any promises. But basically, the point is not to just make money. The point is so you can free up the financial pressure so you can do what you love, which is probably helping or inspiring people in some way, or coaching them or something. And then now you can really make a big impact. So I'm yawning because I'm exhausted and I got to read the Bible and go to bed. If you don't like me yawning, then probably just unsubscribe and bounce, and you don't have to watch me. Go watch something else. But this is one of my 6 YouTube channels, and we put out 10 to 15 pieces of content per day, 200 to 300 pieces of content per month. So I'm hustling. My video guy comes on Thursdays. We film all day. We film up to 8 videos in one single day. And I'm doing so much. My schedule is so packed that in the evening, I like to make these videos on this channel and talk about this type of stuff. So, yeah, I wish you all the success. But most of all, like as my friend Joshua Latimer says, all the success in the world doesn't matter if you aren't right with God. Peace.
Hey, I hope you liked the show. And if you like the Untrapped podcast and you get value from it, can you please take a minute and go over to Spotify and leave it a well-worded positive 5-star review? It helps boost the rankings on Spotify so the show can get to more people. Therefore, these messages can get out to more people and inspire more people so then they can go out and start their small businesses and crush it and get to the next level. It's a huge deal. All right, I'll see you in the next show.